Hello and welcome back to your PA Dutch Minute. Brand new episode coming at you. This is a very quick grammar episode, a topic that I haven't covered yet grammar-wise, and that's how to form commands in Pennsylvania Dutch. So we know that when you're giving a command, you're telling somebody to do something. I did a video earlier on commands that you can use with your dog, but all I did was give you phrases. I didn't talk about the grammar of forming them or creating your own, but this video will cover that. And commands are actually pretty easy as far as grammar rules are concerned in Pennsylvania Dutch. It's not bad at all. So let's jump right in. There are two rules that I want you to keep in mind when you're forming a command. Let's say you want to tell somebody to do something. So rule number one is, first off, you have to figure out and determine who are you talking to. Specifically meaning not who is a person, but the number of people. Because there's going to be two major forms of commands when you're talking to one person and you're telling one person to do something, or if you're talking to multiple people and telling them to do something. And that determines how we form the command. So that's important. You got to know, who am I talking to? Am I talking to one person or am I talking to multiple people? Once you've made that determination, then you go to rule number two, which says use the correct form of the verb. And I'll show you here what those correct forms are. That's about it as far as the rules are concerned. These rules never get broken. There's no exceptions to the rules, etc. The next thing you need to remember is that the word order for a command is kind of a little different. The verb always comes first. And we do the same thing in English. Imagine a mom talking to her child, brush your teeth. She wouldn't say, you, comma, brush your teeth. We usually in English just start with the verb, brush your teeth. And that wouldn't matter if you're talking to one person or if she had two children there and she's like, hey, brush your teeth. Talking for both of them. Pennsylvania Dutch works the same way. The verb comes first in the command. And most times the subject itself is not used because it's understood. If there's just one person in the room that I'm talking to and telling them to do something, I don't have to say, hey, Joe, brush your teeth. I can, but I don't have to. It's implied. Okay? So, let's go right into the forms. So if you're talking to one person, you're telling one person to do something, then that's what I would call the singular command, one person, singular. Here's the rule, or what you need to remember. The asterisk says there's no verb ending. That's it. So imagine I took two verbs, esse and kaufe, to eat and to buy. And we're going to form commands with them. Now, if you are just learning Pennsylvania Dutch and you don't have all your verbs memorized, anytime you look a verb up in the dictionary or on the online dictionary, if you look up eat or buy, it will always come in what's known as the infinitive form. I've talked about this before, but all Pennsylvania Dutch verbs in the infinitive form end in an E. So if you look up in the dictionary to eat, it will say esse, E-S-S-E, or to buy, kaufe, K-A-A-F-E. So the rule here when doing a singular command is it says that there is no verb ending. So you drop that E, and all you're left with is the stem, S. Es da Käse. Eat the cheese. You're telling one person, eat the cheese. Es da Käse. Kauf my Buch. Buy my book. Kauf my Buch. No verb ending. The verb's coming first. It's really that simple. Now, all you need to do is know your verbs, and you can tell any person to do something as a command. Follow the rule. Drop the E off the end of the verb, and imagine we looked up the verb to drink, drinke, D-R-I-N-K-E, and you want to tell somebody, drink the water, drink es Wasser. It's that simple, okay? Singular command. Well, what happens if you're talking to more than one person and you want to give a bunch of people a command? Well, we'll look then at the plural command form. Now notice here the verb is going to get an ending. This time it gets a T. I have a capital T there. I used the same exact examples. Eat the cheese, buy my book. But this time we're talking to more than one person. We're telling a bunch of people or a couple of people. Eat the cheese. Well, we put the verb ending T on. Est da Käse. Est da Käse. Or a bunch of people, buy my book, put the T on, kauft my Buch. Kauft my Buch. Again, it doesn't matter how many people we're talking to, the verb still comes first because that's the rule. Okay? There's one last, what we call a command form that I like to call the let's command. And we do this a lot in English. Let's go to the movies, or let's uh, let's have a picnic. These ideas of, it's not necessarily a command in the traditional form of you're telling somebody to do something. It's, you understand the meaning as English speakers. Well, we have the same phrase in German and excuse me, in Pennsylvania Dutch. Well, the Germans have it too, where we know it as the let's command. And the way you form these, and we do this a lot, so it's a good thing to understand. The verb ending this time, you keep the e. But notice you also add the word mir, which means we. So literally you're going to end up saying, in a literal translation, eat we the cheese, or buy we my book. That makes no sense, really, literal translation in English. But think of it this way: let's eat the cheese, let's buy my book. Okay? And the two examples there, of course, so we add the E for the verb ending, and then the word mir. Esse mir de Käse, kaufe mir my Buch. Okay, so now you can again form any let's command. You take any verb, really. Let's bake a cake. Backe mir ein Kuchen. Or let's fly to California. Fliehe mir nach California. Okay? That's it. Those three forms are all we really need to know. So again, you just ask yourself, who am I talking to? One person, two people, or is it this situation where you want to say, hey, let's do something? Then you remember your endings. No ending for singular, a T ending for the plural, and the let's form an E ending plus the word mir. Keep the verb first and build commands. Start practicing. Think about any time you're talking to your dog, or to your kids if you have kids, or your friends, how often we use command forms. It's often. So this is a good grammar skill to know how to do in the language, and just practice. Pick a verb and make a command with it. Even if you're talking to an imaginary friend in the corner of the room. Let's listen to music, or play the guitar, or, etc. Practice, practice, practice. It's the only way you're going to get better. If you have an idea for a future video, my email address is at the end, of course. Please email me. I'll gladly take requests or ideas for future videos. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so, and tell your friends about it. Spread the Pennsylvania Dutch gospel. We'll keep making these videos and keep you guys up to date on all things Pennsylvania Dutch. Check out my website, padutch101.com. And until next time, Max Good.